The title is a very interesting thing, and it's there for a reason. This is one of the main reasons why I give a lot of responsibility to the parents, or even guardian parents, or even step parents. See, when it comes to marriage sometimes is an excuse to have children. And there is sometimes we know that you may already have a child before you get married. That's just common sense, or at least it should be. But there are two double whammies here with two grown adults, supposedly the male and the female. That is the responsibility of the marriage and the responsibility of the children. They are both the future. And what I mean is, when you are with that person and you get a divorce for any reason, you break up for any reason, however you leave that village, that person will eventually, somewhere at some time, will be with someone else. What that means is, you leave the village, someone else is going to move in. Someone else, some other pilgrim or journeyman, or somebody who just want to camp out, or somebody who's looking for a permanent residency, is going to move in to the village that you left from. And therefore, from that interaction will breed the next consciousness level of the individuals involved. Now, I should not need to tell you that I just told you we are grown adults. But in this one, yes, we have our own identity, meaning we are responsible how we carry ourselves in the future after our damaged relationship, after our broken marriage, after everything was said and done. Yes, we have the obligation to ourselves to go get therapy, to get some counseling, to go speak to a leader or someone who has the information we need to help us to heal our broken heart or even our broken mind. But the damages and the end result of relationships or marriage is not what people are focusing on. The common person today is only focusing on the Disney fantasy emotionalized energy of the beginning fantasized part of marriage, or the union between the sexes, and completely overlooking the word or the sentence called what if, or you could say the two words called what if. What if we get a divorce? What if we're not together? There was multiple times where I've asked my friends and associates, comrades, I'd ask them, what if you get a divorce? What if you break up? And you would be surprised that most of these common couples today, and the ones I've spoke to, not a one of them had a backup plan. Not a one of them thought about the consequences. Not a one of them said, well, if we break up, then I have a plan that I would do this or that. See, if you were to ask me during that time, okay, Morpheus, if you break up with your girlfriend, what would you do? Immediately, I would tell you that I would give myself a break, a reprieve for an amount of time to get my mind right, to get my spirit right, and to make focus of my future so I can be a decent man for the next relationship that I might encounter. That is, if I was interested in a long-term monogamous relationship. I would need to clear off my clipboard before tacking on any other tasks that will be a restricting agent or a probability of destruction for my new relationship. But there are too many, I won't say uneducated, unlearned, haven't suffered enough, and haven't focused on themselves individuals who do this because grandma or their mother told them to do so, or even some blue pill beta fathers. They did so because the pastor reprimanded them to do it or recommended them to do it. They've done it out of emotion. They've done it because it's a good feeling to do so. They would do it because it's just the thing to do, because it's expected of them, but they don't think long term. So the result is they are inevitably creating the next dynamic of the future. Although, again, they have the obligation to get themselves together, to obtain counseling, to derive their information based on their experience to make their life a little better, their next go around. However, the fact is, whether we want to accept the reality or not, they are still creating the next negative seeds for the future. They are creating a dynamic, or you can say a snowball effect, given their mindset, given their length of, again, awareness, intelligence, and instincts. Instincts is a big thing that I've discussed in one of my audio, but I'm going to go ahead and add it in this one. Because amongst your intelligence, the information that you're giving, or your education, instincts is what people practically do not have anymore. That's been one of the missing links out of our life, out of humanity, out of the new generation of these species that are roaming the soils of this solar system. Because our instinct speaks outside of our programming. It speaks outside of the deceptions and the lies. It speaks outside of what anyone can deceive you to be. Instincts is a connection to the universe. Your instincts is what your interpretation of God or power is, where it will save your life when otherwise your teacher will tell you to do one thing based on the book, but your instincts will tell you to do something else that will be a better decision. I didn't say right or wrong. I said a better decision. I do my best not to talk about what's right or what's wrong. What's right to do, what's wrong to do. It's a massive, it's a colossal variation of what that might be. When you say what is right and what is wrong to do, it comes behind, there's a question that comes behind it, like what or why? Why is it wrong or why is it right? Or how come? What do you mean by this because of the condition of the situation? Most times it is better to do something else. It's a better decision based on what is needed, required, what you need to do in that situation to survive. There's movies, there's books, there's documentaries, there's novels, there's World War I, World War II. There's all sorts of things that have happened with the history of humanity, that there has been plenty of soldiers, leaders, and unique individuals that stood up above that said, well, maybe for most people, they would consider this to be the right thing to do, but I'm going to do something else based on what needs to be done in order to survive, or in order to provide for my family, or in order to succeed. So therefore, saying these particular common, human conveyance of conversation that most people understand, this is right or this is wrong. We got to stop being children. It's almost like having a childlike mindset. It's like you're immature when you talk like that. It's basically what we need to do. What can we do to progress forward? What is the solution to the situation? That will usually be the conversation. So we're going to discuss that today. So instincts is what's been taken out, where you will have this. That's why I call it the matrix. This is the definition of an automaton or a robotic human being that live their life based on what the book says. What the book says, the right thing or the wrong thing to do, the right way or the wrong thing or the wrong way to do. Now, you will have organizations, you will have professional jobs, you will have other places that will expect for you to go by the book, but this is done to protect you. This is done to provide you with security when you go by the book. Therefore, when the investigations come up, they'll say, okay, did they do it right? They're not saying, listen carefully, most times they're not going to care that you did something based off of necessity. They will wonder if you did it by the book, if you did it right. Because if they looking to prosecute you, if they looking to take you down or to sue you or to damage you, they're going to always try to dig into the book sort of function of what you did or how you configured your situation that have caused whatever catastrophe it may have been. All right. So therefore, you have an automatic program circle based on people who just generally trying to cover their rear end, which is understandable. You want to protect yourself by doing things by that sort of book understanding, crossing your T's and dotting your I's. But in real life, outside of being pushed to do so, because that's a sort of force. But when you're not being pushed to do so based on the programming damages of the environment, most times your instincts and the energy that the universe give you is going to be obtrusive. It's going to be different. It's going to be a 1 out of a million type of thing. This is also what have allowed the 1 or the 2% of the most richest people on the face of the planet, or the 10% of high value individuals get that way because they thought outside of the box. They didn't play by the rules, because the rules that you play by, you lose, because the rules aren't made for you. The rules are made for those who have created the rules to succeed. When you abide by the rules, you fail most times, and you struggle under those rules. Even if those rules make sense when it comes to safety, you'll find out that those rules keep you at a very minimum of performance. Did you hear what I said? It keeps you at a minimum of performance. Minimum. Whereas those who have created the rules live above the minimum. They are doing more than you because they created the rules so they can bend it however they see fit. That's the same as playing by the book. That's the same as crossing your I's and dotting your T's based on the manual of human controls that you have in your libraries, or your religious texts, or your idea based on your professors. Life don't work like that. Life is a apparatus of multiple things. So therefore, in between the lines is what the world is missing today. There is some, I call them factual functions that you need to comply yourself with based on safety and based on how you should adjust your required movements to fix your conditions. That means basically for some of you, sometimes it is good for you to do what is by the book text, or what the scientists may say. I'm not saying individual scientists. I mean science itself, nature, not people, nature. Okay. However, in between is what we're missing. In between is almost like you trying to jump from one ledge to the next. And the gap between your intelligence versus your instincts is broken. And I'm going to explain to you how this is broken. So therefore, and I'm going to get into it in a minute. Therefore, in that circulation, you have people who are falling away. And so marriage is more like a tool than it is understanding the responsibilities behind how it's getting started and what's going to happen when it's not going to start. So here's the next thing. I told you, children, marriage and children, two responsibilities. The child is also more of a about face. It's a truest face-to-face interfacing. It's real time creating the next future. It's real time looking at the future of wherever you are. Could it be America, Europe, Russia, Asia, Africa, Indonesia, wherever it is? When you have a child, you are creating the future. You're creating what's going to happen tomorrow. You are building up what everyone else is going to have to deal with in one form or another. And it's still based on this idea of marriage as well. It is fun to make them, but it is difficult to maintain and to rear them, and the responsibility of how to maintain this child's mind and keep them on the right track. So again, you still have couples who have no instincts. They go by the program book of the society, which is now today is called social engineering. Years ago, when you had a book to read by to say this is what you should do or shouldn't do, it made sense logically, and the entire society depended on that, and they practiced it in their everyday world. But today, there has been too many of the outer systems that have created the so-called, book texts and stuff like that, who have changed the narrative. They have allowed the society to change the definition of words, to change how we accept our reality. Some of them is called jargon. It's called social slur, conversation, the way that you dress, even the idea of marriage. And a lot of it, again, comes from women as well. Whereas a man say, hey, I want a very decent, natural, homegrown woman who's supportive, loving, respectful, honest, forthgoing, and simple, and have very, very low SMV. Very high SMV, which is sexual marketplace value, and very low body count, meaning she haven't been sleeping with a lot of males. Okay, and proven not to be such a, a poisonous venom. So what will happen is, instead of most men getting that, what he receives is a woman who chops her hair off. Her hair is every color of the rainbow. Instead of her wearing dresses, she got tight pants on, too tight pants to revealing her underwear underneath it, walking around and selling every part of her body, tattooing herself from head to toe, and some of them are 250 pounds. But yet she still wants this guy to have a certain acceptance of her at her worst. At her worst, when she was better back in 1950. So her quality have decreased, but yet she expects the same performance from him. But yet, and also she would continue and would shame him in various languages and in various ways for him denying her, and thus claiming that it is his fault when otherwise it's hers. But in the midst of it, what is she twisting? Why am I bringing this to you? Because this thing called relationship, this thing called marriage, this thing called love, this thing called respect is twisted around now. It's screwed. It's misunderstood. Or even value. What is value today? Most people have a different perception of what value is. Why is value such a distortion and misunderstanding? Well, the best way to use this word as an example is in relationship. That's why I use that as an example. Value definitely comes in the marketplace. It's when you buy and you sell. The value of your car, the value of your house, the value of your portfolio, the value of the food you eat, the value of the soil that you may till. All that has its stable value. But what is unstable usually is what's going on in America generally, but definitely around the world, is the value of male and females. We don't even know what the value of that is anymore because of how it's been so inflated and deflated based on groups of genders or people, all right, who wanted to have their cake and eat it too. What that means is you decrease your value. You decrease the quality of what your companion's getting. So I gave an example. So she decreased her value of what a decent common man, even a high value man could want from her, but yet she's still expecting for him to be with her at a very high price, basically for the rest of his life, to say, let's get married. or you are the chosen one, or I'm going to pick you. You're the pick me girl, or you're my number one chick out of the entire world. Basically, when you get married, that's what you're saying when you get married. Marriage is based on this one-on-one sort of thing. It's monogamous. Therefore, you are shunning, you are putting aside, you are disconnecting. Men basically are disconnecting themselves from every other woman in existence for the rest of his life for this one girl. But yet this one girl do not capacitate. She doesn't care. She does not have the ability, nor the virtue, nor the senses, nor the idea, nor the instincts. Here we go. The instincts to be that number one chick. She's not capable of keeping him satisfied amongst or against the 99% of women who he could otherwise choose to be with. So therefore, he's getting very, very low quality than what women used to be. But yet she's still expecting for him to give her what she wants. But if he requests something, he's a misogynist. You know, he's controlling. He's weak. He's a beta. He's not a man. He hates women. How can a man hate women and all he wants is a certain standard from them? You can't hate a woman if you want a standard from them. If you hate women, you don't want anything from them, right? You don't want to deal with them. You don't want to deal with them. You will mistreat them. You dog them out. You talk bad about them. You don't care about standards. But if a man have standards for anything, he likes that thing. He just wants it in a different way. As a car enthusiast, I enjoy cars myself, but if I want a car, it has to be a specific car. It has to have a specific performance. When a man wants a woman, he wants her at a certain performance. And the performance that most men are looking for is the quality that I just suggested. Respectful, giving, kind, beautiful, forthgoing, don't have a lot of body counts on her. She's loyal and she's not trying to and will not attach herself to other men because she's supposed to be monogamous with him, focused on him, doing what needs to be done for the energy and the positive foregoing progressive of the relationship. But yet that's not happening and is becoming normal. So therefore, the idea of love, trust, companionship, and respect is screwed. It's destroyed. So therefore, with that plethora of an example that I gave you when it comes to this word called value, it's pretty much going down the drain when it comes to relationship. And it's hard to understand what it means person per person, because we're at a time where anything and everything goes. So what this does, here we go, it tethers on to, again, the future of understanding. When you have a child, you're creating the next future. You're creating what's going to happen next. Now, this is when things get serious here. Now, it took me some time to build this up. This is right now 22 to 23 minute bridge, because I needed to give you all that because of what I'm getting ready to say. There's a reason why all this is happening. Most of them were kids once upon a time. This type of thinking and dynamic wasn't always here. Now, when I always say 1940, 1950, here we are in the 2020s. What happened? What happened? It's more than just what people think about feminism. It's more than just the so-called discrimination marches. It's more than just any sense of the color of your skin. Listen to what Morpheus is saying. That's my job. My job is to give you this. So listen to what I'm saying. It's more than just what y'all think about. Some of you think it's just the government. Some of y'all always complain about the government. A lot of you complain and say, well, it's black people doing this. It's white people doing this. It's in this neighborhood, or it's this sort of secret operation or secret groups. I'm going to tell you number one and number two. Again, I'm doing twos today. Number one, it is your ignorance. That's number one. Number one, why is it your ignorance? Because here we go. Like I always say, you don't love yourself enough to pay attention. When you are in the classroom, there's all kind of reasons why you can't pay attention to the professor. Maybe you got half sleep. You got problems at home. You didn't get enough. You did not. You was distracted when you was at home. You didn't read your book thoroughly. You didn't do your homework, whatever it is. But when you're sitting in the classroom, you are responsible to listen to the professor. And we have it. Who's the professor? The professor is nature. The professor is the life events that have occurred since 1930, 1950, and what we have today. And what I'm conferring to is the human mind. You see the title, okay? Because I'm going to punch you with it. I'm going to punch you with it and try to knock the air out of you. That's the whole point. They'll punch you with it. Okay? There is something missing. I just told you, instincts. How is instincts missing from your mind? How is this going on? Why is it acceptable for, it wouldn't even be acceptable for men to say, all right, I want this woman who is, she's healthy, she's fertile, she's nice, she's cute, she's respectful, she's pliable, she dressed good, she's not out there, she don't have a lot of body. Okay, fine. But in return, what is it that he have to be? He have to have the potential to provide, protect, and preserve. I got a lot of P's here. I'm going to come up with a list for you. I always go by the P's. The P's are very powerful. P's are powerful. I stand by P's. Okay? He have to have the ability to provide a sense of stability. Therefore, he can't come to her without a job. Generally, he can't come to her without being a protector, being like 100. Imagine her. She's 135 pounds and he's 110. Just imagine she's, making a decent amount of money per year, at least enough to keep a roof over her head and pay her car note and all this sort of thing. And he's living in his mother's home. He can barely even purchase his own food, let alone go and get his own shoes and clothes on his back. But he can't expect for this girl to accept him as a decent suitor, as a decent man, or a choice in her life, because he can't do much for her. So compare him to another guy who can provide that stability and protect her, and he's bigger than her, heavier than her. He has a leadership potential. That's going to be more compatible for her. So it works the same. It works the same, right? But today we don't think like that. What that means is, even I as a male, and this good example I gave you, he knows he can't come to her like that. But women in return is doing that towards him, where she wants to present herself and she's not the best version of herself. She presents herself less than what she used to be back in the 1940, 1950. Back there, they knew how to bake a cake. They knew how to put lasagna together. They knew how to make garlic bread at home. They knew how to make ice cream at home. Yes, with buckets. They knew how to do all that, till the grass. They knew how to do the linen with their bare hands, stonewashing, they call it, and raise the kids at the same time without so much of blinking their eye. Now, they don't even know how to make a proper cheese toast. They don't even know how to do the laundry properly without losing patience, sit there with their dumb phone in their hands while the clothes are getting bleached. They under dry their clothes, or they take too long to fold because it's too difficult to understand where the creases belong, because they're not the quality they used to be. Because instincts, listen, derives from a very source that I'm going to tell you, and it's not going to feel good. That's the point of punching you in the damn stomach. Drugs in your mama's vein. Drugs in your daddy's vein. They tell you on the often, which is 100% true, drugs kills your brain cells. It fries them. There is a community of progressive people who, I call it the scientific church, who actually says that they truly believe, they say, I don't say believe, they truly trust in the modern medicine. And they say if it wasn't for medicine, we would not exist today. To a percentage, that may be true. To a percentage, we needed some of those VACs to an extent. We needed some pharmaceuticals. To an extent, there was some help with with the chemicals that was injected into the society. But there is a clause to this. There is a downfall to this. There is a struggle with this that no one wants to understand. When I continuously bring this red pill to you, some of you are just too damn stupid and don't want to damn listen. I tell you, this is connected to your genetics. The human body is smart. It is a learning organic machine. Whatever vibration you put under your veins in your blood is going to affect the next generation. It's going to affect you in one form or the other. Everything that you do before you even have that child is already in your blood. It's in your mind. It's in your genetics. It's formulated in your DNA. When you have a baby, you are passing on yourself to that baby. It also indicates as well when they say don't smoke, don't drink. It goes further than stop drinking and smoking. Those have a devastating effect on your children, but the other drugs do as well, are even more effective because it stays in your blood for a long time. Now, I tell you before that, well, I'm going to tell you today, look at your DNA like a guitar. Whatever pharmaceuticals or pills you put in your body, you're going to hit that string. Is a 6 string or is going to be a bass? Let's call it a 6 string. Okay? When you put that pill in your body, it's going to pling on one of those chords and it will stop eventually. It will stop eventually. Okay? It's not going to last forever. But what happens is your body remembers that tone. Your body remembers that key. Just like when you hit on the key on the piano, it goes into the memory bank in your black box. It goes to your unconsciousness. Listen, it goes to your unconsciousness where your body remembers the sensation. You want more evidence? Okay, I'm going to give you something that we are all familiar with. Okay? And I have to get personal. Years ago, and it wasn't that long ago, but one of my girlfriends that I spent some time with, she earned, let's just say she earned my attention. Okay. And I expressed how I felt about her and how great of a woman that she was compared to the other low-hanging fruit females. And so I was able to, let's just say, how about this? Take her to the highest peak, to her horizons. All right. And when everything was said and done, just to say mind blowing sort of experience. OK, I have to put this here because this is important. I can bleed all this in. Just bear with me here. OK, for her, it was a mind blowing experience and she deserved it. She worked for it. She was prime. You know, she was, how can I put it? She was my Valeria. If you want to know what that is, I keep telling you, refer you back to the audio. Once again, every woman is not a woman. A man only has one special girl in his life. Okay, that audio. I ain't gonna explain it to you. She was my Valeria at the time. And so what she told me, like, I think it was, there was some interactions and we went out of town and go places, but a month later, something like that, after So Witch, right? She explained how she could not forget about the interaction because she said she had chills down her spine every time she thought about it. Every time she thought about how I expressed myself for her, it brought tingles down her spine. It made her have pause. She would think about that and remember the sensation because it's unforgettable. You say, how does this happen? Okay, so let's bring this back to drugs, this vibration that you put in your blood, in your body. Okay? How this happens is the body remembers how high this person got or how high you are. It remembers your feelings. It remembers what you did to put it at that level. and it becomes a memory that is unshakable. This is why sometimes, and I'm not the bad boy, I'm bad in certain areas. I'm bad because I'm good. When somebody says, okay, Morpheus is bad at that, that means I'm good at it. Not that I am truly bad at it. Okay. But when it comes to the bad boys, the guys who are aggressive, they just want to just go and get it in and be, what do you call that, dogmatic and very aggressive for some of the naive women, which are called the F-boys, bad boys, thugs, or whoever else, right? They give her a sensation. They give her a memory that's unbreakable. They cause her to create certain hormones in her body, which makes her even more excited to be with this guy. The thrill, he's edgy. All right. So what happens is when she gets with a lesser guy, just with another guy, a different person, she cannot forget about this. Her body won't allow her to erase this because of the sensation that's been given to her, because all of her strings was clicked at one time by the I don't know what you call, I forgot what you call it, but y'all know what it is. By the well, you know, by your fingers, or the plastic piece that you put on, that you play the guitar with. So therefore, drugs play your fiddle just like that. It plays your 6-string guitar just like that. Even if it stops for a moment, you take this Tylenol, you take this Advil, you take this whatever that you do, it stops for a moment, but your body will not forget the vibration. This is how sometimes your doctors will even tell you if you need a lower dosage of something or a higher dosage of something, because sometimes your body can become immune, or your body become oversensitive or desensitized. Why? Because your body remembers. It's not stupid, ladies and gentlemen. I'm trying to tell you, as your Dr. Indian Chief Morpheus, your body is smarter than humans' technology. Your body is smarter than anything Elon Musk can make. Yeah, I said it. Your body is the most unique, best engineered, organic, very special gift to you that the universe ever met. Yes, it has its days. It's fragile. Sometimes you don't like it. When you're on your time in the month, women, I know you want to run right through the wall and call it done. There's some men who want to find the highest precipice and jump off of it because of some of the things that we deal with. However, it's still a very special body. There's nothing like you in existence, not even animals in the animal kingdom. They may be mammals, but they're not like you. You got me? But with this, what we don't understand is we disrespect nature because we want to defy it with our technology and science. What you don't know is the use of all your pills, medications, VACs, and stuff you've been putting under your blood since the 1950s. Listen, I need y'all to check this out. A lot of those things haven't left your DNA, and they're not going to tell you either. It hasn't left your DNA. You pass that on to your children. Now, you're not making an excuse. It's very much so. It's very much so. Not that it's an excuse. What I mean is it's very much so this. I'm not giving people a pass for bad behavior. I'm not saying it's an excuse for them to be forgiven for their bad decisions that they make as an adult. I'm saying there's a reason. These are the new generations, not just based on the bad decisions that us parents have decided to make, but it's also based on all the drug usage that we have been taking. When you call people, when you always say, well, what's wrong with people today? People are out of their mind. Why are they're airheads all over the place? Why are these kids going to college just to waste their life away? They go to college just to play around. Why isn't students and kids serious about work? Why is everybody lackadaisical? Why is marriage such a difficult thing to understand when it's very simple? It's two people uniting with each other for the rest of their lives based on their agreement. If they want to do it, don't get married. You would think like that. It's supposed to be simple, yes, but it's made complex because our instincts is blocked. Listen, when you use medication over and over again, generation to generation to generation, You stick needles under your skin, generation to generation, for any reason. Smallpox, chicken pox, this pox, that, for pox, any pox. If it says pox or pox on the billboard, we give you pox anyway. When you when you do all this, you are messing up the engineering that God, or you say the universe. I'm saying God because y'all understand God that way. Not here in Academy. I don't call it that, but nature have given you. It's going to have an effect. What we are dealing with generally is the results of stupidity. When I told you before, stop putting stuff in your damn mouth. Stop putting stuff in your blood. Leave the drugs alone. It's going to burn your brain. It's going to fry your nerves. It's going to make you stupid, son. You're going to be homeless. You're going to be kicked out of school. You're going to lose your job. You're going to lose your life. You're going to want to do something stupid in front of the cops where they're going to have to put you down. Why? Because you got stuff in your veins. And even if he's not taking drugs, poor children today, these poor children today, they are this. Okay, y'all ready? They're crackheads from crackhead parents. That's what they are. See, you may have stopped taking that stuff when you was in college, but when she had a child, she still had it in her vein, and she had a child. Oops, here's a child. Okay, I don't do that anymore. Well, ma'am, you don't have to do that anymore. You created an embodiment of what that is. And the doctor has to deal with it. The doctor have to make even more well, you can say the pharmaceuticals, the scientists, but the doctors support it and they study it. However, they have to come up with different pills now. They have to formulate a plan for your failure that you did already, because that's an unforgiving thing. It don't matter. Oh, I don't do that no more. I used to smoke weed a lot. I used to Okay, y'all. Okay, I'm gonna get into that because some of y'all are flipping on that. Oh, he said weed, morphine. No. I'm gonna cut you down. Hold on for a second, because I got some really big shoes, so you might want to step back. Softy, step back. Okay. What happens is this. There is called a thing stimulation. There is some people who is sensitive to this thing called dope or opioids, and there are some people who are have a different adverse reaction to it based on their genetic pattern and based on their hereditary traits from their parents or ancestors. So for you, you may think, oh, it's fine. My child came out okay. Strange that they got a big head and big black eyes. I don't understand where it come from, right? But we're idiots today. You don't, okay. And then there may be a fact where this child might be anorexic. They may be, there's this thing, they may have, dang, I can't even come up with it. I'll find it. It's there. They have all types of abnormalities, all types of autism, all types of pre-diabetes. They're anemic. You don't even understand why they are anemic. And you'll say, well, I haven't drank in like 15 years. I haven't smoked a pipe in like 15 years. I used to do that. Man, I took some X pills all year long when I was in my college days. Like, oh, I don't do that no more. And then you get dumb. You get dumb because you get forgetful. And how you get forgetful is that 15-year period, okay, that you stopped doing it, you still had an embodiment of a child that carried on your failing, ignorant DNA. And let's incubate that. Listen, I need y'all to check this out. Let's incubate that for ever since, let's say 1990. Let's go back to the 1990s. Let's incubate that. Okay? What you gonna have? If you incubate it, it's going to be that much more of a mutated human, a mutated species thinking differently than what you have thought. Now, a lot of people don't want to stand on this because you're like, oh man, Morpheus, prove it. Well, I really don't have to. Open up your damn eyes and pay attention to society and look at history. There's scientists, there are genetics that know this type of BS, but they don't want to put it on it. Like I'm taking a different avenue at it. I'm taking the front line at this. They want to give you some book jargon, and well, I understand this. You got the nodes over here, and the bloodstream's kind of different. The white blood cells, will be able to attack and get done with it. You can detox this over here. They wouldn't like Morpheus. They would not like. That's why I'm not in it. I'm not in it because I know I'll be in trouble. I'll be the worst whistleblower because I care about people. I won't lie to you. I'll be the first one to be like, hey, America, look at this BS. They lied to you. And then here I am in trouble. Okay, because I'm intended to save everybody else, trying to help you. Right. But the fact of the matter is you are dealing with the results of it today. The time for question is done. Why are y'all asking questions? Because y'all doing the same dumb, stupid, retard, backwards. I don't know myself. I'm a PhD in stupidity, sheeple type of activities because you're functioning in the same swamp circle because you don't love yourself, nor are you looking for the future for your children because you stuck up and you selfish. You know this stuff, but y'all still talking about, oh, I want to get married and I want to have kids. What the hell is wrong with you? Do you understand what you signing up for? You are becoming God. You ready? When you say that, you are automatically saying you don't know it because of your training and your social engineering wants you to be passive. And I understand how big that is. Let me stop. You are signing up to be a creator. And what you are creating is what's out of your genes. There are some people who should not have had kids. Yeah, there are some people who should not have laid down on their back and created the next human because that little bitty baby is an embodiment of their failed life, messing with drugs, popping pills, smoking in the back of their Cadillac, playing around, putting stuff under their vein, taking any type of VA that they wanted to just because they felt like it. And y'all wonder why these people the way that they are today. They are crack babies without knowing that they are. Their brains are fried, ladies and gentlemen, and they don't know it's fried because when you're missing your instincts, you're missing everything that is needed to be connected to the higher mind. The higher universe is needed. Your instincts get you there. All right, let me give you some more examples. I don't have the link right now. But I like to give you some things to think about. I came across a Catholic channel. I think it was like last month, something like that. And it's based on, y'all probably know this, guys who are standing out there to be traditional and they want cars to honk for marriage, honk for, is abortion bad, this sort of thing. And do they believe in same-sex marriage, this sort of thing, right? Which is fine. Everybody, they have their own way of dealing with reality and trying to fight back the distortion, which is, you need to do that. We need to do more battling. But however, when you look at the college students, start there. Okay, don't even worry about what they're asking the college. You can worry about what they're asking the college students, but look at the reactions of the college students themselves. Look at them, and you know what Morpheus is talking about. They're not the same human being, ma'am, sir. They're not that. They are different. They are the result of you, adults, parents, who decided to say, let me create this being. Let me go ahead and have my frat party, my seniority party. Let me have my menage trials. Let me do my flinging and flanging with everybody. Let me color my hair. Let me mess with my DNA and snort and all this kind of crazy stuff when I'm in high school or college. Let me do this because I'm only going to live one life. Then eventually, oops, here's this little egg that's going to pop out of you. And that little egg is going to be either sensitive to this new environment, this new social engineering, or it's going to be resistant. Most times there's no neutral, even ground because you ready? There's no even neutral society because society is unbalanced. Society is neither here nor there because we don't have enough voice, enough truthful speakers, enough masculine men, enough headstrong women speaking the facts and wake up before they become 45, 50. We don't have enough of them. Usually they start talking because they're 45 and 50 because they're done playing games now. They had their fun. And I don't want to talk some common sense later on, instead of talking common sense when they're 20 to 30. But you have them, but they're very rare. But we learn too slow because we're sloths. The fact of the matter is, what we need to stop doing is having kids just because we want to have kids. Stop getting married just because you want to get married. You are affecting the society, or injecting the society with your mental virus, with what you got in your blood, ladies and gentlemen. And you think, oh, it's okay, I'm so high right now. Woo, boy. Oh, man, this stuff is sticky. I am out of my mind. You are creating the next zombie or robot, and you have no idea. The genetics of the human being is very sensitive, and it's smarter than you. It's so smart where it stays dormant until the time is right. It will stay dormant. When you hit on that guitar string, it's going to stop eventually, but the body's going to say, okay, I know that tone. I know it. So next time you hit on the string, the body's going to say, okay, I'm familiar with this. I'm familiar. That's no different. That's no different if you comply that to two women who's with the bad boy, who's experienced. Let's say she gets with a guy who's not so experienced, although he's trying, and he's not a ruffian. He's not out there like that. And she may like him, but he's not going to be hitting the chords like she's used to being hit like that. Okay. And he might be doing it right, but she may want it that way, the way that she's familiar with, because it does something to her head. It messes with her chemistry. It makes her spinal cord tingle. It makes her want more. It makes her feel like she's taken to Mount Kilimanjaro, or the precipice. So she will not forget. It's going to be two different things. And y'all thinking it's just shallow water stuff. Your genetics do the same thing. Your genetics will do the same thing. But we bypass that because, again, and it's not to accidentally step on toes. Usually when I put my foot down, it's for a reason, because you're in the way. Ignorance is in the way. We don't want to make a change because we love a sick society. We want more pharmaceuticals. Okay, keep on having kids like that so they can keep on getting injected. How about that? You don't listen to Morpheus? Fine. Okay, we'll make more pharmaceuticals for them then. All right, when they get your age, because you notice it's getting younger and younger. See, years ago, when you needed some type of administration, is when you was older, at an older age, even though they need it more now because of the broken down genetics that we have, because we kept taking stuff. You kept doing pharmaceuticals. You kept doing pills. You kept doing medications. Now you weaker than what you used to be because you destroyed God's engineering, God's gift to you. You destroyed because you don't deserve it. And so eventually nature takes it away, which is why you see that little lightning. I don't know what they call it, but that wavy signifier of your heartbeat when it's pulsing. That's why it just stops pulsing, because you don't appreciate it. It was taken away from you because you're too busy trying to be inhuman. You're too busy trying to do things by man instead of doing things by nature in the universe. Because when you don't respect nature in the universe, it's going to take it away from you. And it will take it away from you permanently, probably earlier than later. So here's the facts, and I'm going to get off this audio, and the lesson's going to be done today in this Academy of Wow Men. Okay? The fact of the matter is, because there has been a plethora and constant usage of drugs in so many forms and fashions, it have caused society to weaken, to decline, not incline. So you de-evolve. Y'all are going backwards instead of forward because you always want to put something in your mouth because you want to feel good for that moment. You don't have long vision like I tell you to have. And so now you're in a situation where you drive past the colleges like this, the Catholic group out there just with flags, minding their own business, with a peaceful protest, no weapons or anything. You got the college students attacking them. There was a woman standing out there. She was a reporter, and she was just simply talking. A guy literally walked up to her and karate kicked her in the face. Around your colleges, the guys were asking women very simple questions about, what do you call that? About childbearing, about abortion, about marriage. You know what the ladies were doing? Spitting in these guys' faces, taking their signs, ripping them down. They were cussing at them in their face. One woman walked up to him, "It's my body, it's my choice," and yelled them at his face. They were aggressive with this guy, with the groups of men who weren't aggressive. But these are your next. This is what you got today because y'all don't damn think. You don't use your clicker that God gave, because how can you when your instincts is smudged with drugs? Because they are the results of the drugs that you keep putting in your veins. And Morpheus is just an idiot. Okay, go ahead and call me. I guess I'm a dumbass. You can call me that. I'm fine. Okay, go ahead and put it in the comment box. Morpheus, you don't know bleep bleep. Okay, maybe I don't. Maybe I'm just a plain idiot and I don't know nothing about genetics. But you know what? It don't matter what you think or what I think. The results is in. The results is in. It's like when you get a grade and the teacher saying, "No, you got an F." You're like, "No, you're lying to me. I did it right." And the teacher pulls out the correction book and shows you what the real answers is. You stand there looking stupid. The real answers is what you're dealing with today. That's why people don't focus anymore. That's why you having one car crash and you see it on the billboards. You know it's illegal. You know it's unsafe. Your consciousness say, "Put the cell phone down, idiot." And you're looking around, making sure nobody look at you. You're like, "Oh, well, I'm getting away with it. I should wait. Maybe I should pull over to the side of the highway to wait for this text message." But you want to be this idiot and do it anyway. And your consciousness tried, you don't have a let me take that back. Because you don't have instincts. When you don't have instincts, you don't have a consciousness. Oh, wait a minute. Morpheus, did you say? Yeah, you don't. They work hand in hand like buddy to buddy. Consciousness, instincts, consciousness, instinct. You don't have it. So they're not working out together. They hate each other because they're too busy smoking. They're too busy popping pills. They're drugged up in the lunchroom. That's why they're not working. Because you're so smart. So you sitting there trying to be funny. "Oh, well, the officers don't see me. Nobody else is around me. Let me go ahead and pick up my cell phone and drive down this busy highway doing 45 miles per hour while everybody's doing 56. And then one mistake, here you are upside down in your broke down electronic weak car anyway. Shouldn't even be on the road, but it's there because you want to buy anything that's easy, cheap, and push button because you're too late. Let me stop because I can start roasting. Boy, I can listen. Your funny vehicle for clowns. You're upside down and now you in the ambulance. All because you had no self-discipline. All because you had no self-control. All because you thought you could. Where's this stuff come from? Because guess what? Your instincts and your consciousness works better when it is clear from drugs and whatever else is under your face. It will cause you to think twice. You'll sober up real fast. You'll sober up real fast because what happened to your instincts and your consciousness will start showing you pictures of you being dragged away from your vehicle under a blue tarp. So you'll say, "Well, maybe I'll wait," because I remember the teacher showed me one of those gruesome pictures with somebody flying through a windshield. Maybe I'll wait. I ain't gonna do that. That's your consciousness. Your consciousness is making you remember, and your instincts are saying, "You know what? Yeah, because I need to stay focused on the road and be able to sense everybody that's around me instead of using the computer or camera to do it." Which some of you do anyway, because you transhumanists and don't know it. But yeah, I said it. But when you use your own superior instincts, which is your body, okay, you're going to be focusing on your instincts and focusing on what you need to do at that particular situation. It's just a small sample here. This is just an example of everything else I can talk about. This is something that most people understand because most of y'all do it when Morpheus drive past you. You're on your cell phone doing 35 miles per hour while I'm doing 55. I got to swerve to get away from you thinking, what's wrong with this person? Are they drunk? No, you sitting there on your cell phone having an outline conversation, texting. Like what? And it could put you in the hospital, but you don't care because you don't have any instincts. You're drugged up. You're a drug head. You don't know it. This is serious because guess what? This is what happens. Now, a lot of you might have troubles right now and say, "Well, how is this connected to drugs? How is this affecting the decision that I'm making versus, texting on the phone?" Well, man, sir, madam, I just told you. It's like a light bulb. When you are drugged up or a crackhead based on what your mommy and your daddy did 50 something damn years ago, your genetics, your intelligence, your information, your ability to take in the plethora of the universal instincts and enlightenment is distorted. Do I have to spell that out for you? Huh? I'll put it on the chalkboard. Should I send you to special ed so you can comprehend what I'm saying? So therefore, your light bulb is dim in that situation. So you are willing to take risk. A dim light bulb takes risk. A dim light bulb take risk. When you are above a lady in the bedroom and the lights are off, okay, she looks like any other woman on the face of the planet. But when you turn the lights on and realize what this person truly looks like, you might decide differently. A dimming light bulb make you take risks. So most of the dimming light bulbs that we have in society, because most people, not everybody, most people's brains are fried and they don't know it. You're living in a de-evolved, humanistic, fried brain society where we talked about this zombie act type of situation. Most people are already zombie and don't know it. That's why you're going around eating other people's brains and perspectives and ideas and concept, and you don't think for yourself. That's why y'all talking like everybody. That's why y'all dressing the same. That's why y'all walking the same. That's why y'all functioning the same, have the same jargon as the same person, because you are a zombie and can't think for yourself. Zombies eat brains, and your brain is already fried. So therefore you're like, well, it's the latest thing, so I'm going to do it. Everybody else is doing it, so I'll do it too. I guess every other sheep is jumping off the cliff, but I'm going to do it too because I'm just a zombie. That's reality, man and madam. That's just the reality of what it is. Maybe if y'all get this red pill, you can understand differently that you are responsible for what comes out of you. And definitely was responsible for what can. How do we stop this? Yeah, okay, you want a solution? How do we stop this? Okay, realize how big your marriage really is and what happens when you break up. It don't matter. It don't have to be a marriage. Whoever you interact with, you're an energy node that's going to be with somebody else eventually. If you want to be in the next relationship after you break up, you got to prepare for that. Some people just don't want to do it. They say, well, I don't know. I expect to be this person for the rest of my life. They'd be the first bozos going down to the courthouse getting broke. I've seen plenty of them. They don't want to expect it because you hope to be with that person, or here's the word, you expect to be with that person for the rest of life. Most times it don't happen like that. Years ago, there was a certainty. Yeah. Years ago, it's probably 40%. Yeah, you have 40% chance of divorce. 40. Okay, at worst. Today, it's 80%, and most of them being signed by women for various reasons. It don't matter what it is. Oh, he farts underneath the bed. Under cover. You know, his breath stink early in the morning. His shoes ain't being put in the right place. He leaves the door open when he leaves the house. His coffee's the wrong brand of coffee. You know what I mean? Any type of silly thing, she's going to divorce you just for a divorce. So it's going to be 80% regardless. So you don't actually anticipate, okay, what's going to happen if we're not together? So definitely her. She just thinks she's the prize either way she go. It don't matter. You know, she could be 8 times divorced, 8 times underneath somebody else's cover. She don't care. It's like, oh, well, they're going to accept me for who I am regardless. But for the very few of them, which is probably 1%. Okay. Yeah, probably 1%. You know, she needs to do counseling, cleanse herself, get her mind together, prepare herself for the next person. She's going to be in a relationship with the next person. That's almost like giving a car that's been used to the next owner. You got to get this thing right, tune it up, work on it, clean it, work on it, you know, get all the mechanics done to it, do the what do you call that? The PMs on it, post maintenance, you know, get it right. Therefore, the next owner isn't going to be disappointed. But, you know, we got dumb people in the masses who will accept anything. They don't vet it out. They don't do the Carfax on the person. So guess what happens? There's no accountability. So y'all continuously, create the snowball effect that I just said before. You don't realize how responsible you are. Yeah, you may be your own person, but you're responsible for when you meet another person, there's going to be interaction going on. And you need to be held accountable for your baggage. You need to be held accountable for what you bring into the table. Nobody needs to accept your BS and your trashy mindset. You're a haphazard, I can't be stable, I'm stuck on myself, narcissist, selfish individual as you are a person. Yeah, I had to put it like that because I want to say something else. This is my best attempt of really trying. This is my best attempt from not really getting roasty. Okay, I'm trying to go around it this way because I can say some bad stuff and I'm trying not to. Okay, so you want somebody to accept you as a pile of trash, basically, and you expect to get the high price for it. It don't work like that. So we are affecting the future. So basically, we need to be more aware about what we're doing. I don't want to jabber on this too long. We need to focus on understanding that we are the creators of the future and we have created this future. And one of the ways we have created it by messing with our DNA, by drugs. And now we got to deal with the drug babies called adults. They look like adults. They somewhat act like adults, but the results is not adult. They act like children. They're unstable. They don't even know the definitions of word anymore. No act loyal, have the discipline or respect that they need to for the next person. We're all trying to step on somebody just to get to the next place. I only step on toes because you're in my way. That'll be the only way you get stepped on, but not because to get myself to the next place. No, I'm here to bring truth to reality, bring truth to word. That way you can be aware about what you're doing at home. And basically too, if you are married and you're in a relationship and even think, oh, we're going to be together forever, you need to be thinking about the results if you're not together. What's going to happen next? Now the child is born. What's going to happen next? Born from your genes and your loins. You need to realize this child just might be just like those crazy, out whack, distorted individuals that you see in the colleges, doing any old damn thing. Because guess what? All that activity is going to catch up to them eventually once they start hitting 30, 40, 50 years old. And then they're going to be like, okay, what happened? And now you're on a life support system. You don't know why. You don't know why you got tubes and wires connected to you. You don't know why you need to have a certain type of medication. There's some doctors have encountered people who didn't have history of diabetes. They didn't have history of diabetes, but you know what their parents did? And they activated that diabetes or that diabetic gene by doing the same thing that their parents used to do when they was in college. And so now that bad habit, that sickness, that drug that they kept doing, that high sugar, that high fructose corn syrup was passed on to you. And now you stuck. And then my parents used to have it. My mom used to have it. And you want to accept it just because they used to have it? But why don't you stop it with you? Why don't you quit the habit with you? But guess what? By that time, you're already on insulin and pills and all kinds of stuff. Now it's too late now. It's done now. Now your child that you have now may not have your condition that you got. Okay, but it's still there. It's dormant, waiting for the proper time, waiting for the triggers that I've just suggested before in my other audio. There are triggers to ignite your ancestral heritage of sickness that's been passed down. See, Morpheus, I go deep. I go extremely deep. This is not something that, it's just a year from now. I'm talking about something 10, 15 years from now. So therefore, if you got people like myself warning you ahead of time, this is 10 years in advance. And this is, okay, I have plenty of audios that's been like 2 years ago or a few months back as well. Y'all just get the message too late. However, and y'all been having these messages way before me. All right. So when you get all this information ahead of time and you still dumb enough to go down that path anyway, that means you're asking for the results that we have today. So we need to stop complaining. Like I said, number one, it's your ignorance. Number two, you accept it because you're responsible for your actions. And so drugs is one of the biggest things, and we accept it and we keep doing it and we just don't care because we just don't care about ourselves. Any other additional solutions to this? You should know what it is by now. Aren't you a grown damn adult? Act like it.